cut.
Oh, I did actually.
Yeah, fresh cut. Let me see that.
But you feel me? I always gotta wear a hat and
Your hairline's a little crooked though. Your hairline's a
courtesy
little
by Macho.
no
Yeah, it's
cap,
a
no
little
cap.
crooked.
Your hairline.
Nah, it's been
Stop,
crooked for 7 years.
stop,
Yo, check this
stop.
out. Courtesy by Macho. You already know.
Your choice, the red pill or blue pill? What? What kind of socialist communist are you?
Yo, watch your mouth, please.
Nah, I'm messing around. That's a fresh cut, bro. Are you one of those kind of dudes like after you get a haircut, like you have to like look at yourself in the mirror, like, yo, can you do me a favor? Can you hit this side real quick? Are you one of those kind of guys?
Not really. I used to a little more. Now I'm just like, yo, I got a cut. I'm good.
Yo, I used to get so mad at dudes in the barbershop because I'll be the next one up. And the guy just laced them up real nice. Pop, 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 pop. Got him good, real nice. And the guy's there. He's like, yo, hold on, hold on. Yo, can you hit that side a little harder?
Yeah.
And then he goes in there, all right, I got you. And he's like, but wait a minute. Now it's not even to this side. Can you make sure that also is straight? And I'm like, yeah, God, I'm about, bro. Like, what's wrong with you?
It'd be like that in these barbershops for a minute. Like you'd be waiting there and you're just like, yo, bro, I hate waiting in barbershops. I used to do it when I was younger. No longer could do it.
Yeah. Hey, Travis, you guys, I tame myself. Savory knows this because we live together.
Yo, he's been on a roll today, man.
Yeah,
God, this guy's cracking today.
I normally just actually have to tame myself. Thank God you guys are not my wives. My wife, wives, as I have the Alibaba beard on over here. But no, she can't. I don't know. She's got the patience of a saint, bro. Like she can.
Yeah, I almost muted Machu.
She did, because she thought Static Chasers was
Yeah.
somebody else. Because I kept
Oh
saying
yeah.
L host,
Yeah.
L pastor,
Yeah.
L. Because Disaster Girl just don't listen. I really don't have any interest to talking to people like her.
Yeah, I
I
feel
listen. I'll say this right quick. We got a few seconds. Ready? She came onto my live the first time I met her, right?
Mhm.
And she talked about police brutality. So I said, okay. So she gives me her whole story. Bro, she got arrested several times by the NYPD. I said, okay, what happened? She's like, because I'm black. I'm like, what happened? So
She
she
told you,
then
bro.
tells me what happens. Oh, this is what happened. And then the same people that arrested me looked at me at this shop over here and this, that, and the third. I'm like, how did the same cops arrest you the same time? Like, what are you doing? Honestly, what are you doing? I wanted to just ask her. Like, I've never encountered the same cop ever while I'm in New York City.
Yeah, not in our city. One that'd be rare. Yeah.
So how is she encountering them? She's looking for them.
She
You know
live
what I
it. She
mean?
live in some type of she about that life some way somehow. You know, something's
She's a
happening.
social justice warrior out here protesting, getting arrested for whatever stupidity that she did, and then she's impressing us.
Interesting.
And she's in
She talks to
everybody's
her mother,
lives.
yeah.
She's in every conservative life. Wherever I go and I find a conservative, I see her there. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? You don't agree with us. Look, I get it. You don't want to be in an echo chamber. I get
Mhm.
it. But you're also not going to change the mindset of people by having the kind of posture that you do. It's
Yeah.
all about your posture. Like if you go and you ask people questions. So normally what I normally do is I first start off with questions. I go, okay, do you guys know what this looks like in the hood? Have you guys ever been in the hood? Have you guys ever had this thought process of what it actually looks like? When they tell me this,
Yeah, there's levels too.
the scripted answers, oh yeah, the hood is because of the government, or the hood is because of this. I already know you're not from there. You have no idea what's going on in there. So why are you having this kind of posture is beyond me. But
Yeah.
yeah, let's get to it. Let's get
Yo,
to it.
guys, ladies and gentlemen, let's get straight to it. We'll give a quick explanation right after this, but let's make this transition before we get into this intro.
Quarantine camps are a conspiracy theory. It will never happen. 2021. Quarantine camps are for your health. Just go there and shut up.
Good morning. We start with breaking news out of Darwin, where 3 people have escaped from the Howard Springs COVID quarantine facility.
Yes, that's right, Davina. Good morning to you. We've been told the trio scaled the fence in the early hours of this morning. Police receiving reports around 4:40 a.m.
So I'm going to give you a warning, yeah? It's an official warning that you have to stand in the block and obey the rules while you're here, yeah?
And to fact checkers saying these quarantine facilities aren't quarantine camps, there's not camps because there's hot girls there. Let's look up the definition of prisoner. A person deprived of liberty and kept under involuntary restraint, confinement, or custody, which would clearly be these people. A camp is a place with simple buildings erected for shelter for temporary residents, so it's a camp. Calling it a quarantine camp or a prison camp is totally fine. Just because you could play basketball in jail doesn't mean you're not being kept there against your will. 2019, quarantine camp.
Savior, he's being way too extreme. Okay?
We're gonna give you a real life example of how many people.
He's being way too
my
extreme. Come
situation,
on,
I
I don't want to
actually
hear it.
think like that.
I don't want to hear it. I'm
There you go,
feisty
man.
macho today. I don't want to hear it.
Oh,
Cheer,
right.
cheer. You guys know who we are. We got the core in the house. Macho, savory here. It's actually feisty macho today.
Oh, feisty.
But,
You should have changed that name today because
Yeah, I should have put feisty macho. I'm sick of these socialists. I'm sick of these socialists. I should have these t-shirts. I'm making t-shirts of that. Ready?
Yo. But Macho, let's share a bit about our inner city experience with COVID. Give us a quick synopsis from the beginning of COVID. Probably not going to cover everything, right? Before we get into our main, but just beginning of COVID to now. Give us your heart. Give us your thoughts. You know, what give us your random thoughts about it.
What do you mean? From my
From
thoughts about COVID? Because that's
the
broad.
beginning. Yeah, from the beginning of COVID, like what are some things that might be concerning for you? What are some things that you feel changed before your eyes? Expectations, like when this first started, COVID is out here, to where we are now. What are certain things that's changed? You know?
Yeah. So basically, from the first time I heard about it, I had no clue as to what the hell we're really dealing with. I just knew this came from China. That was it. It was the beginning phase, and then I was watching all the press conferences from Trump and Cuomo because at the time they were giving us the most information at the time. Then we did the whole, stay safe, social just distance. I got COVID in May of 2020 and didn't have any symptoms, but my wife did. She had serious symptoms. She was bedridden for like 2 straight weeks and lost her taste, lost her sense of smell, a whole bunch of things. At any rate, we quarantined literally for about a month and a half, Savory. And I have to tell you, after that, nothing. We had enough. It only took us a month. It only took us a month. And after that, me and my wife were like, this is stupid. This is suspicious. Something's wrong here. Why is this taking so long?
Okay, and that's fair. That's fair.
And everyone in the hood, like at the beginning, everybody in the hood. I lived in the Bronx. I'm talking about at the top, borderline Yonkers. So I'd have to take the 4 train. We've already discussed in previous episodes how that looks. Take the 4 train, and the 4 train comes through a lot of very low income areas, right? And people would come into the train, no mask, don't care. Because what does it really matter at that end of the day? We've been on the train, been around each other, we've been exposed, so no one's really understanding it. And then they locked it down to the point where no one was on the train. And still to this day, you don't see people in the hood like really taking it that serious.
Interesting. Yeah. So I agree with you. So in the beginning, I'll give my quick synopsis is look, this whole thing from the beginning, I was one of those rebels where I didn't really pay no mind, bro. to COVID, to be honest, right? And it was already because I was frustrated with government overreach, and I had this whole ideology that was building up inside of me with all the different things. So in my mind, since the beginning, I'm like, yo, this is just weird, right? They're trying to shut things down. People, everyone's scared, and I
From the
never watched
beginning.
a lot of TV from the beginning. So I came from Japan. I landed here, and everyone was wearing a mask. So I literally didn't see the transition in America because I was in Japan when it first started. When I landed here, everyone was wearing a mask. I went jogging without a mask. I went on elevators without a mask. I went on
So
the
it's like
train
you
without a
never
mask.
left Japan. It was like you never left Japan.
Exactly. No, for real. No, a lot of people wearing masks.
Everybody
It's so
they
weird.
but they normally wear a mask in Japan
They
because it's
normally
like
wear it.
very like wasn't it like humid or something like
Well,
that or
not no,
smog?
no. The thing is, the Asian culture in general is a very compliant culture. Like where China, Japan, and it's just the reality of it. They're very
Damn,
compliant to government, unfortunately.
that's racist. What you just said. They're compliant culture.
It's just facts. But
What's wrong
anyways,
with you today?
fast forward here.
He said anyways.
I never really took it seriously, to be honest, and I was never really afraid of it. And that's not to prop myself up or anything. I just refuse to change my normal routine. I like to take walks. I was jogging at the time. I got yelled at while jogging in New York by this white man. Hey, put your mask on. Care about people's health. And it just led
I
me
got yelled at too.
further to the other side, where I'm like, I'm really not wearing a mask now. Like it didn't help me. This kind of social pressure that I don't do too well with, you know?
I got yelled at too,
Anyways,
by the way. I got yelled at by an old lady. I was literally outside riding my bike, and then I got off my bike to like walk on the sidewalk, and this lady yelled at me and says, "You got to wear a mask." I said, "I'm outdoors. The hell I got to wear a mask for?"
yeah,
It makes no
again,
damn sense. I thought there was a
this
lot
is
of mixed
why
messaging. There was just so much mixed messaging. It was
too
just weird.
too many weird things at a high level. But with that said, Macho and I shared a bit so you can know from our inner city experience and inner city talk. We're gonna make a transition here. You're in for a treat. If you've seen this video on TikTok, it actually just happened this morning. We're talking about this morning, right? This is not an edited video or anything. This is an actual interaction I had in the morning. And we just want to break this down and get some people's thoughts and make this engaging.
You started it.
Let's do this. All right, check this out, guys. Let's get to this.
Did we lose the sound on it? We probably lost the sound only because you know why? You put your headphones on. It's strange like that. It's just very weird.
Huh?
The only reason why we lost the sound only because you put your headphones on. That's it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so just take your headphones off for this segment, and then we'll get through this. We'll do this together.
We might have an echo though, so if we have an echo, just mute me, all right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Let's
I have
bring
no problems. I have no problems muting you.
All right, let me know if y'all hear it.
Martial law supersedes constitution.
We'll see.
I'm telling you not what I think. I'm telling you what I know. Google.
So that's a million people. Good?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
With guns and freedoms.
Like in that way, that's how we need to do it. I'm a combat soldier. I'm not sympathetic. I have no.
So you think I should be in the camp?
I think you should, because you won't wear a mask.
So you think I should be in the camp, right?
You won't wear a mask.
Right.
You're a danger to everybody.
That's how search your history. That's how Nazi Germany started. It was for public health.
Damn, why are you starting trouble for?
We need to have the control. And I hope we get it. And if we get it, all of this is going to stop.
Yeah, that's how socialism starts. Control. I love my freedoms. You wear your mask, nobody's judging.
Hold on. I have something to say off topic here. Like, you thought we weren't gonna notice this? You wearing blue socks? What is that? Polka dots?
Nah, that's actually a morning brew. Check it out, guy. Biggest plug is my favorite newsletter in the morning. I shared there with so many people that actually send me socks. Morning brew, baby.
What is this morning brew?
Oh, morning brew, man.
This is like a far right newspaper?
Oh, here we go. Yeah, this guy. This guy's really out of control today. It's this. All right, let's. By the way, from what we know here, he said martial law supersedes the Constitution. On top of that, this fine gentleman who served the country and has his nursing pants on, so I believe he's a nurse, is wearing an oxygen mask, a mask on top of that, and he tells me I should be in a camp. When the video start, I already had a prior conversation where he told me I should be put in a camp for disobeying.
Sad.
So I sat down, actually pulled my phone out so people can see the extremes many people are going. This is in New York there.
Sad.
Crazy. So let's keep playing this.
I don't want you to get sick because I get $3,400 a month for Agent Orange exposure in Vietnam. I need you to be able to go to work and pay your taxes so that I get my check.
Hey, you let me.
Yeah, my man said I need you to go to work so I can get paid.
Me and my family worry about
Okay,
that.
I need you to go to work.
Why don't
Pay
you
your
let
taxes.
me and my family worry about that? All right, it's called
I'm
freedom.
worried about it because if enough of y'all get sick, they
Enough
can't
of y'all.
pay me on Tuesday.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. For
Tuesday's
public
the
health.
first. I get my $3,400 Tuesday.
Oh, okay. So I'm the reason you won't get your money.
You gotta pay your taxes.
So sad. So sad your
I'm
mindset.
very happy
So
about
you're
it.
just taxes. You're
You have
just
a
a
whole
tax.
oxygen mask on and you're worried about.
I'm worried about everybody else because I'm a COVID nurse. This is what I do. This week alone.
So what you
I
think
took
about
care
the
of veterans in the home?
What you think
I
about
put
the
7 people in the hospital.
All right, what you think about the thousands of nurses who refused to get the vaccine and walked out of their job and didn't want to wear
They need
masks?
to be fired.
Okay, you're
We have an obligation.
you're tyrannical. That's what you are. You're
We have an
tyrannical.
obligation to keep people safe.
No, I have an
Take that
obligation.
oath. You take that oath as a nurse.
Why do you have an obligation to keep me safe?
Because it's what I do for a living. I'm a nurse.
I don't care what you do for a living. You don't control my family. You understand that, right?
You
Your logic is circular, right?
You don't want to wear the
How
mask.
dare you say I'm
Thank
feisty?
you. All right.
How dare you get away with saying I'm feisty? You just said I don't care what you do for a living. You know, like you coming at
Bro,
him.
he just said he's gonna try to. He said his responsibility is to control my life. This guy's out of control. He's more
Yeah,
out of
he is
control
out
than
of
you.
control.
He
He's
took
very out of
the bar.
control. I would
Let's
never
finish,
do that.
and then we'll
never
cut
do
it
that.
up into the different parts. But you have to see this. Check this out.
End of conversation.
But you don't have a right to make anybody
Do
else
mask
sick.
work? Let me ask you. Do mask work?
It gives you better than not some. It gives you some sort of protection.
What kind of protection does it give you?
Did you get the vaccine?
That's none of your business. That's public health. Why are you worried about if I got it? Don't worry about it if I got it.
Between the two, the vaccine and the mask, you got some kind of protection, not only for yourself, but not to make everybody else sick.
So let me get this straight. There's people who are vaccinated, got boosters, and are wearing masks, and are worried about someone who doesn't have a mask. Is that what you're telling me?
We got the 4th booster. I already got the 4th one. Yes, I'm worried that you can make somebody else sick, and me too. But we're not sure that it's gonna work. Martial law supersedes.
Yeah. All right. First of all, he's how this video ended. He just said, "I have my 4th booster." You can't make this up. Ladies and gentlemen, he has his 4th booster and he's wearing an oxygen mask.
And you calling me feisty. Yo, it doesn't honestly, he literally believes what he thinks.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
literally
yeah.
believes it.
He wasn't
Like,
faking this. Yeah, you could
There's
tell.
a lot of things that people think, but they don't believe it. They'll just wander and they'll just be, oh, okay, yeah, that's a possibility. He literally is coming at you, a stranger, don't know you, coming at you, telling you what you ought to be doing and what the government should be doing because he actually believes that'll get this COVID virus to stop. It's like saying I'm going to try to control the flu. They ever control the flu? Did they ever control the flu? You can't control these things. It really, it's so arrogant. It's crazy.
So Macho, what do you think about the start of this video, which is when I started recording, right? Where he said martial law is coming because of people like me, to give context, and he said martial law supersedes my constitutional rights.
If we did go over with martial law, that part he's right.
I don't think he's right though.
With martial law, they
Let's look
come
at
and
martial
they dictate policy.
Yeah, it's
It's
called
like-
dictatorship, but martial law in itself is unconstitutional, in my opinion.
Absolutely. But it violates your constitutional right. That's the only difference that I would say. It
Temporary
violates the
imposition
American
to
civil
direct
rights.
military control of normal civil functions and suspension of civil law by a government, especially in response to a temporary emergency. So they would justify.
You see what Travis said? Travis, I agree with the fact that he says it overrides constitutional. I just would say it violates our civil rights. That's what I would say.
Yeah. So he's technically right because we won't have those laws, but he's justifying a martial law because of public health. It's just a dangerous road to cross.
It
Martial law,
sets,
if
yeah,
we're
dangerous
invaded, right?
precedents. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? The president is if we're invaded, stuff, but the standard he's setting is just very dangerous, which is why I think it's very unconstitutional. Because if you do it for that reason, we're not invaded. You're just robbing people's freedom, and it's not logical, right? So again, if it's
You
an
know
invasion,
why?
right?
You
That's
know
how
why?
martial law is supposed to be when it's an invasion or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
while martial law will exist only in a only as what the pure blood pastor was saying on your live in terms of like sunset issues. So the Patriot Act should have had a sunset, a rise, and a sunset only for a time. So martial law would probably only exist for a period of time, never an ever, ever standing kind of issue. So even if there is an invasion, the martial law will neutralize that invasion and then go away. It won't violate our constitutional rights, like
I,
as a long term issue.
I
Setting
think
a
it was
standard,
violated.
of course, as setting a standard where, oh, this is in the interest of public safety or public health. So wait a minute, what are we talking about here? Because now we're infringing on people all for the sake of safety, and this now leads to a place of like we know best. Rather than recommendations, we come with our strong hand, strong force to tell you this is how it should be. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you can't do that. The government should be about recommending, never about forceful push, right? Never
Yeah,
about like I'm gonna
I
strong arm
really,
you.
I really think there's no justification for martial law. Not even if we get invaded. Again, you know my logic with this. I am a little extreme with this. I don't care if I want to go out and we're invaded and I have my guns and I want to exercise my freedom. Why are you? I just think it's foolish. Why are you telling me to stay in my house? Don't get me wrong. I'll probably stay in the house if you got tanks out there and all that. I'm like, I'll let y'all solve that. But we should always have that option, right? Trish
And if
said,
we
"Are you?"
and
Oh,
I
this is
agree with you.
interesting though.
Yeah.
Are you aware Biden has instructed states, counties, cities, government agencies to formally proclaim racism as a public health emergency?
Oh my
That's
goodness.
what
For
you call
goodness
abuse
sakes.
of power.
No, that's what you call racism. That's racist.
Yeah, that too.
So in
Emergency
trying to
sensitive
counter, see, this is what
states.
I talk. I don't even want to talk about this, but teaching the history of racism teaches you to be racist, and countering racism with racism is racism. There's no way around it. That's what
Mhm.
boggles my
Yeah,
mind.
yeah,
What
for
he
sure.
just said, what this gentleman just said, for you to be in a concentration camp is racist. It literally is because you're simply saying it's because of you we're in this mess. It's because of you we have this issue and it won't stop. Look at what he said. He said,
Hmm.
if we get you guys under control, this will stop.
Yeah,
Never
check it
mind the
out.
fact that
Let's play that
viruses
part
don't work
again
that way.
so
Virus don't
people
work
can
that way.
see what you're talking. That's a great point. Let me play it so people can see in the beginning. It's right in the beginning.
It's constitutional rights.
We'll see.
I'm telling you not what I think. I'm telling you what I know. Google.
So that's a million people with guns and freedoms.
People like you in that way. That's why we need to do it. I'm a combat soldier. I'm not sympathetic. I have no.
So you think I should be in a camp?
I think you should, because you know where I'm at.
So you think I
See?
should be in the camp? Right?
You become the problem now. You are the problem.
It's a danger to everybody.
And this is
I'm a
what our
danger to
government
everyone.
this is
I'm
what
a
our
danger
government did.
to everyone.
Yeah.
You see that?
This is
That
what our government
mentality
did.
is scary, bro. If
This
people
is
are
what our
really
government did.
believing that, they're believing that this is the kind of division where the left and right loses. You just have somebody across from me
Stupid.
telling me that I deserve to be in a camp, and he tells me why. He explains. He says because people like me, you have been convinced by the media and elites that I am the problem. So you think it has nothing to do with the government because you want to give them all the power. You have nothing to do with their lockdown. It has nothing to do with the media. For you, is the people like me that should be in a camp. Crazy.
Well, I'm just saying. Here's my thought process. Is like Joe Biden was the one that said this is a pandemic of the unvaccinated. Since when this became a pandemic of the unvaccinated? I thought this was a pandemic because of so now we're just shape shifting. Now we're just shifting it now. Now we're moving to forget about moving the goalposts. We're redefining what the pandemic is. The pandemic is not about what exists in terms of a virus that's actually hurting people or killing people, right? Quote unquote. But this is actually now a pandemic because you do not want to submit to us putting the jab in your arm. It really
Well,
just boggles my mind. And we're probably gonna get blocked for this video, but I'm just saying though, like it's really crazy.
no, but check
Thank
this
you.
out. But check this out too, right? I also got to a point where I'm speaking to him and I'm asking him, do mask work? Right? So
He's not
right
even wearing
here,
a proper mask.
this
He's
is
in this,
really
but if he's in the healthcare industry, he's not even wearing a proper mask.
yeah, it's crazy. But check this blew me away here, right?
This is what I do for a living.
This is what he
I
does
don't
for a
care what you
living.
do for a living. You don't control my family. You understand, right? Your logic is circular, right?
You don't want to wear the mask. You have that right.
Thank
All right.
you. All right. End of conversation.
See, there you go.
Do mask work? Let me ask you. Do mask work?
It gives you better than something. It gives you some
He didn't even know what to say. He's paused. He said, gives you better than better. Check this out.
sort of protection.
What kind of protection does it give you?
Did you get the vaccine?
That's none of your business. That's public health. Why are you worried about if I got it? Don't worry about it if I got it.
Between the two, the vaccine and the mask, you got some kind of protection. Not only for yourself, but not to make everybody else sick.
So let me get this straight. There's people who are vaccinated, got boosters, and are wearing masks, and are worried about someone who doesn't have a mask. Is that what you're telling me?
We got the fourth booster.
We got the fourth booster. My man said that with pride.
Lord have mercy. Lord have
My
mercy.
man said that with
There's
pride.
no
He said,
rationality with these people.
we got the fourth booster. Bro,
Right
look at
here.
the kind of life you're living. You're in fear. You have 4 boosters. You have an oxygen mask. Where are we going with this? What you got there? Signs of compliance.
Science
Perfect.
of
Sure.
compliance. That's really what it is. It's not science
Science.
about science. It's about compliance, Savory. It really, there's no other way around it, bro. Like, and now that other American is turning against another American. We are literally in the
Exactly.
beginning
It's a
phases of
lose-lose for us.
imploding. We're literally imploding, and no one cares.
It's
No
the-
one, like, there's some
exactly.
patriots out here who will stand. And they assume that we're Republican, or they assume that we're Democrat. We're not. We don't like what's going on.
Bro, this is a
We literally don't
fundamental
like what's going on.
constitutional issue. You gotta. It's a fundamental American issue, bro. I don't care where you land. Why do you think
But
it's a
mind you,
good idea?
Savory, kids are still talking about racism. What the hell are you talking about racism for? What are you doing? Where's the racism? Right now, there's literally treasonous acts happening against us on a daily. And you're worrying about, come on, man.
They've convinced people that the most important issue are shutting down people like me who don't want to comply. This man is, if he's up to his 4th booster, that means he's gotten every shot that's come out with excitement, right? You don't need for he can be good with 2 boosters, but he got 4 because since the beginning he's been getting shots. Why? Because they told him it's almost over.
Science
They
of
told him
compliance.
just comply. We'll be back to normal. So he's frustrated. I feel a lot of people are letting their frustrations out on people like me. That's always been saying this because people actually believe when they got 1 shot, it will be over, and then 1 booster. All right, that's the most. Right? People actually believe that if they wear a mask, then social distance will end. People actually believe that when you shut down the country, it will just be temporary. People actually believe all this. So I understand why people are frustrated. Don't be frustrated at me. Take that out on your government. Why are you frustrated at me? I made my own decision. You made yours. Now the consequences, now the government is doing this. Oh, it's not our fault, guys. It's the people who didn't get vaccinated. It's the people who don't wear masks. So causing more division, like you said, Macho, while we're out here fighting over racism. Come on,
We're
man.
not going to survive this, Savory, if we don't have real patriots to stand up. And this is not no extremist ideology. We're not going to survive this. We're already dealing with racism, pseudo-racism, pseudo. I'm going to say that again, pseudo-racism. We're dealing now with a pandemic of the unvaccinated. Come on, you can't make this up. The left constantly wants to divide us. The left has been doing this for years. We're not going to survive this as they keep doing this. What do we want? Another 9/11 to happen? And I'm not saying that lightly. Do we want another 9/11 to happen and then us be unified? United we stand, divided we fall. How are we living up to that today?
This is
Honestly.
Civil War status. That's my opinion. This is Civil War mentality, right? I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow, and I'm not saying this might be the cause, but this is the seeds that are planted. When you can look at me across from you in the same hood, in the same neighborhood, because I don't wear a mask, you think I'm killing people. You are convinced that because I'm not complying with what the government says, that I am at fault. So you buy into the pandemic of the unvaccinated. You buy into mask working this extent. You buy into and I'm with people here. I never heard of the freaking fourth booster shot. So my man is probably so high on compliance that he's the first one that the government entities take advantage of. People like him because they can use him.
And they also take advantage of affiliation because they know that there are people out there that are going to affiliate with a party no matter what.
Exactly.
And then Trump came in and changed that, literally flipped the tables over. Said, we're not going to be affiliate with you because we want to see you put your money where your mouth is, where your actions at, where your policies at. Are you for us or against us? And he's talking about the us, not being the extremists. Are you for America or are you against us? Is that a fundamental thing? Is that extremist? Honestly, is that extremist?
You know what's crazy? You asked a fair question, bro. Isn't that sad? You're asking a freaking fair question because the simple fact we have to argue this or even talk about this, it sounds common sense what you're saying, but unfortunately, it's crazy. It's not common sense.
I really do. Savory,
Yeah.
I get emotional because I'm just like, how is that an extremist thought? Are you for America or are you against? If you're really for us, then you're about our freedom. You're about us having guns. You're about us, you know what I'm saying? You're about every American, not just particular Americans, not the Americans you feel are disenfranchised. No, I don't want your sympathy. I don't want you to look down on me. Looking down on somebody is the very thing we're telling you to stop doing. But instead, we have you brainwash people and they
Exactly.
still turn around and go, we still need you. We still need to depend on you, Gov. You know, you guys are our savior. And I'm sick and tired of hearing that rhetoric. And then look at this. Now you were turning against one minority to another minority. Literally telling you to put you in a freaking camp, bro. That makes no sense to me, honestly.
And he meant that. Why? Because he thinks it's for public health. And by the way, I just fact checked it right here. New York City is up to their fourth dose of booster shot. So he was probably definitely saying the truth, not just talking about rhetoric and wanting to be extreme. I'm looking at right here. We have the Pfizer, we have the Moderna. At least I Googled NYC. I'm not sure if that's in every state, but they're up to the fourth dose, and he was proud to say it, which means he's keeping up with it. It's his industry. And again, people like me, to him, are the enemy. Think about Macho. Think about I control you. Let me use this example here so people can get this. I control you. My dream would be that you don't even know I'm controlling you. That you just think it's a person down the block that has nothing to do or affecting you, but I see you fighting amongst one another. Imagine the people in power watching minorities in inner cities fight one another, watching people in urban places fight one another, watching conservatives talk about vax, anti-vax, it's a dream for people in power. So people got to stop this systemic racism, white privilege nonsense, and wake up to the reality of what's happening. I don't care if you got the booster or not. That's not even my argument. I don't care what you got, but realize I'm not your enemy, you doofus.
Yeah, and it's really goofy, honestly. Like it really, really is goofy. Like you're sitting there literally looking at another minority, a young man, right across from you. Yeah, as a combat vet, as he said, right? You fought for this country's freedom, not for this country's division. You fought for our freedom, not for our division. And that's where you get the biggest L, bro. Like he gets the biggest L in my books, bro. Like I want him to be free to make his own decisions, but don't infringe on somebody else, bro. Like Savory, you and any other person that doesn't want to wear a mask or don't want to get vaccinated are not the problem. This is literally deviating us from the freaking problem. You know what the problem is? You know what the problem is? What happened in 2020? Well, that's what the problem is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what else is the problem is? Where did this virus come from?
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't we dealing with that?
Nobody
we used to be a country that we used to deal with these things. When 2 towers went down and 3,000 people died, within 9 months we were in another country because we don't play that.
Exactly.
We don't play that, bro. Like, what happened to us?
That's like 9/11 happening and me and you talking about trivial stuff that has nothing to, you know what I'm saying? It's the same analogy you give. I love that analogy because if anything should unite us, it's nonsense like this, but they've politicized it strategically and purposely since the beginning. It was never about public health. It's not about, and you know me, Macho. I tell people all the time, I got tons of family who got vaccinated, who wear masks, don't wear masks, and they want all of us to argue and over these trivial things that have nothing to do with the control that these politicians are having and taking over our country. So it's just nonsense. But
All right, let's
yeah.
get this last part here. Savory, you start the first half of this. Let's do this.
Yeah,
tag
yeah.
team
We're
here.
in a tag team to really just share with people the sentiment behind why we wanted to share this today. It wasn't about my interaction only. It's what my interaction showed to Macho, myself, and many other people when I posted it on TikTok, where it's like people can't comprehend in other states and in other places what's actually happening in New York, which is happening in many other states, which deeper than this is happening in many other countries. So do not think that we are far away from things that sound extreme, like being in a camp. Like the intro video I played where people are being put in camps. This thing sounds like not possible in America because that's the privilege. You see, that's what I call privilege. That you feel your government can never take advantage of you to that extent because you live such a privileged life. But people who come from other countries where the government has centralized power, they're actually very aware that any government has the power to corrupt. And that's my mindset. I don't think America's government is better. I just think America's system is better. Very big difference, I tell people. Not the people in government is who I trust. I love my Constitution, which is why I responded to him the way I did. Because even, and I might disagree with some conservatives here, I don't care about martial law. I don't think people should give up their guns and stay home. And again, I'm not saying we fight our government and go crazy, but no one should have a reason to take over your rights. And let's not fight about the trivial things. We got to unite on more important facts. Go ahead, Macho. Take us home.
I'm going to remind our audience here that there was a time in history a country raised up speaker boxes, literally disenfranchising and blaming a demographic as to the sole reason as to why they're losing their essential banking system, as to why there was inflation, as to why they were losing resources, as to all the problems they had. Think of that demographic as the enemies of racism. They were the problem to society, and 6 million people were put in gas chambers. 6 million. Don't let these people lie to you.
And it took 10 years to get there, Macho. Let's remind people that wasn't overnight.
And they blamed them.
Yeah.
So what do? Are we now in a country that is blaming each other? Are blaming a set of people and saying that you guys are the reason why we can't get over this virus? That you guys are the reason that we can't go over this fascism, this nationalism, this white supremacy. You guys are the problem. They are causing us to want to get to the inevitable, and no one wants to get there. Not a single American on the other side who is being blamed wants to raise their arms on another American. But I promise you, if we keep going down this route, they're not going to like the outcome.
Facts.
Promise you, they're not. Because I know a mess load of Americans that I just got to know over being on TikTok, by the way, that we've gotten to know that are not playing around. And they're not extremients. They're not.
There's millions. Just don't cross that line with them. They're not starting problems. Just is a line you can't cross with certain Americans. And it's a sad thing to say, but we need to just do better because we're not holding the government accountable. We need to hold the government accountable, not one another. This is ridiculous.
Please, guys, share this. Share this video. YouTube is not recommending our videos. I guess we've realized that we're not going to get that kind of traffic, but please share our videos, share everything. Tell every patriot out there to come check us out on YouTube. We don't just exist on TikTok. We are here on YouTube. We want to make noise on this liberal platform. We don't care. We want to be out here. Our voices need to be heard. We will not stop. We will not relent. We will not surrender.
Thank you, everybody.
I'll leave you guys with. Have a great weekend.
Much love.